the Olympic format, over the 200 metres, the most exciting distance for sprint kayak. Something that everybody can start to look forward to is seeing, you know, the Paracanoeists out there racing furiously over the shorter distances and in a different classifications, KL1, KL2, KL3.
We'll mention them a little bit more. That was the start list just gone up there for the first race of the Paracanoe World Championship finals this afternoon. The first world champion of the week will be crowned in just a few moments' time. The men's KL1 200 metres B final is lining up, so no medals at stake just yet. So this is the B final, just paddling for pride and for glory as well. And
fellow countryman Colin Cedars there in lane 5, taking a quick swig before the gun goes, and he just qualified himself for the Olympic Games just this week with a countback on one of the other athletes, which is very exciting for Cole. He'll be looking to press himself into this B final now that he is heading to Rio. There's the looks like the Argentinian on screen, Diaz. Volkmann.
Yeah, Lucas Nicolas Diaz, who has also qualified a spot at the Paralympic Games. That's the German athlete out in lane 7, Stefan Volkmann. And just paddling up into the start buckets now. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Paralympic classifications, KL1 is for athletes who can use just their arms only. Then KL2 is for athletes who can use their trunk and their arms. And then KL3 is for athletes who are able to use their arms, their trunk and their legs as well. So all the athletes now in this men's B final of the KL1 200 metres just lining up.
You can see a lot of the athletes in the KL1 do need back support and some type of structure to lock them down into the boat to create the power through their arms, so they don't have the upper body capacity to hold themselves in a position and rotate through the torso like the KL2.
And they're underway in this B final of the men's KL1 200 metres. Difficult to see just who's got that early good start. It looks like Tamás Juhász of Hungary and lane 3 looks good, but at the moment I think it is lane 5, Colin Cedars. No, perhaps not Colin Cedars.
Lane 6 in
lane
the
6
Argentinian.
It is. Yeah, it's lane 6. Colin Cedars just alongside him in that green boat, and it's 3 boats out the front at the moment. And Tamás Juhász from Hungary looking very, very strong indeed.
Very strong.
Wasn't
very nice.
too quick out of the blocks, but as they come into the last 50 metres, it is between the Hungarian athletes out in lane 3 and the Argentinian in lane 6, with Colin Cedars of Australia just slipping back, and Alexander Hrenko of Ukraine pushing up. Who's going to take first place in this B final? It will go to Hungary, followed by
Argentina, maybe just ahead
Argentina,
of Ukraine.
just ahead of Ukraine there. So that was a brilliant paddle from Tamás Juhász of Hungary out in lane 3, taking first place. I think it was Argentina's Lucas Nicolas Diaz who took second, ahead of Alexander Hrenko of Ukraine in 3rd place. And I think it's fantastic that year on year, now that it's in the Paralympics, we're seeing the Paracanoe athletes lifting the level. The depth of competition that's coming up is fantastic.
Too right. It's pressing everybody to become more and more diligent with training methodologies, for coaches to find different ways of creating opportunities for them to get very small percentages, but you know, within the grasps of the physical capabilities of these athletes out on the water. It is quite difficult, you know, there's balance to be contended with, different weather conditions, strength, the physical limitations that you know, create certain body types based on the disabilities of some of these athletes. the times there, you can see 53.8. I mean, some of the KL 200 results in the A final will be hitting into the 40s, you would suggest, in maybe the mid-40s. So there's a little bit of a gap between A and B finals as expected. But some of these athletes still got 2 months to really pull their socks up and see how well they can provide themselves the best chance in Rio.
And because this is Paracanoe is fairly new to the Paralympics, it is brand new to the Paralympics, we are actually finding that some athletes are jumping in a boat quite quickly and having to, really step up really quickly. Now next is the A final of the men's KL1 200 metres. And out in lane 2 is the Polish athlete, won silver medal last year. That's Jakub Tokarz, won silver at the World Championships last year. So already qualified his spot for the Paralympic Games in Rio in September. That's Great Britain's Ian Marsden alongside him in lane 3. And he'll be looking to match some of his teammates' capabilities. Lots of Great Britain always looking for the medals. It's not just about qualification for Great Britain, always looking for the medals. And that's so 4 of the unqualified, but 4 of the best unqualified athletes will win qualification. So 3 in this race have already qualified. That's Jakub Tokarz of Poland, Zhao Yu of China, and Luis Carlos Cardoso da Silva, the reigning champion of Brazil, who will be representing his country at a home Paralympic Games this coming September.
Very exciting
for
him.
Or he will if he gets selected, but he's secured that spot already. So
From South Africa, Graham Paul. This is his first outing at an international event.
It's a fantastic stage to do it. I always think Duisburg is one of the best stages to race at. This and Szeged in Hungary.
Correct.
You've always got the crowds. You've got a fantastic setup here. Ideal racing conditions.
Yeah, I believe it is one of the best courses in the world. And you can see there on the screen Ravali from Italy pulling into the starting gate in lane 9 to fill out the field, and they're in the starters' hands now.
And they're underway, and it's a great start from lane 4.
Zhao Yu, he has dominated out of the blocks, and it looks like it's a catch-up game for Cardoso da Silva from Brazil. And on this near side, Remy Boulet from France is also pulling his way down the course very, very swiftly.
So remember, we are looking for 2 things. We're looking for the medalists, who's going to get gold, silver and bronze, but also who are going to pick up those qualification places. And this is going to be very complicated, trying to count everybody over the line, but at the moment it is Zhao Yu of China who's out in the lead, Jakub Tokarz of Poland in second. Those athletes have already qualified places for their countries at the Paralympic Games. And as they come towards the finish line, it does look like it's going to be Zhao Yu of China who takes first, ahead of Poland, Brazil and Great Britain. Now it's all going to be down to who qualifies those spots, and if it was indeed Great Britain who picked up that 4th place, it will be Ian Marsden who does qualify a place for Great Britain at the Paralympic Games in Rio. He hadn't yet qualified a spot in the men's KL1 200, so great news for Ian Marsden of Great Britain, and even better news for Zhao Yu of China, who looked to take first place.
just behind, and very exciting there.